funny.
Hi. There we go. Welcome, everybody, to the Renegade Realm podcast. I hope that we can be heard. Let me make sure. Yeah, there we go. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much. Sorry for the delay. And thank you to Jonas, who's in chat, who saved the planet. Captain Planet Jonas, King of Norway. I don't know. We'll come up with a better name. But anyway, so it's just Holly and I for right now. We're holding it down until Daddy D, who might show up, and little baby A, who will show up. And then, and then another little mama A will show up. It's a teaser. You guys are like, what the fuck are you talking about, Red? Hey, shout out to... let me scroll up here. Moose 1, it's Timmy, Toxic Buttwind, yeah, Daniel Luna, Barry Donnellan, American Fury, Toxic Buttwind. I just wanted to say it again. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Yes, we did. We did. Do you want to tell them? Oh, there we go. Go ahead.
I just had a great intro to this whole story.
I know. I'm sorry. So
who runs this show anyway?
Apparently not me, because I just pressed all the wrong buttons. Let's start all over. Here, let's just play this little ditty. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do that. All right. Welcome everybody to the. Holly, tell us. So we were talking about Toxic Buttwind last night, and
We were. So we have been very slowly and methodically, with great purpose, and we mean everything that's happened up to us so far, been playing through the Space Hammer War Marines, is what we like to call it, game.
Yes.
And it's been Red, Assassin, and I. So we only play when we can all get together. And so we are only on the third mission. And we had a little snafu with that third mission a few nights ago. And so last night we all hopped in and got through this very, 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 very difficult part, because we're playing on veteran. And when we were in the lift after we got through that part, we're all excited. Assassin and I are, of course, waiting on Red, who's doing something else.
Always peeing.
Always waiting on Red.
Yep.
Yep. It's fine. We were standing in this elevator waiting for him to come, and pause. There was you stand with your view from behind, and both of our jetpacks were like breathing fire out of them, and I was like, it wasn't actual fire, it was like you could see the air poofing out of the bottom of the jetpacks, and I was like, hey, Assassin, we're Toxic Buttwind today.
There you go. Yes, so there you go, Toxic Buttwind. You were in the conversation.
Exhaust.
Yes.
That's what it is. Yes.
Exactly. And now we need to know if Toxic Buttwind can fly like a jetpack with the buttwind coming out of him. That'd be great, actually. I would love that. You could sell yourself.
Scuttlebutt.
Scuttlebutt. Look at that. We're just full of puns. I love it. Hey, guys, if you could share us out on Twitter. I didn't make a Twitter post yet, but I will. I just can't multitask because there's only two of us, so I don't have a lot of lol time. But yeah, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Hey, Holly, what else you've been playing other than Space Hammer War Marines?
I started this really cool game, which is actually $5.99 right now on Xbox. It was free from Epic, I don't know, a few weeks ago. Glad my exhaust made you laugh. Thank you. In that moment, after all of the arguing and the repeating of this one part of this mission, that was the point where we really needed that laugh. It was good. It was very good. Anyway, I started this game, and I've been kind of picking it up here and there. It's called Industria. It came out like 4 years ago, I think, on PC, and then 2 years ago on Xbox. Like I said, it's only $5.99 right now. It's really, really interesting. It's kind of like BioShock meets Dishonored meets, I don't know. You start in East Berlin right as the wall is being torn down. And
that's fun.
You wake up and your husband isn't there, and you hear the sirens and everything going. So you run off to his job to go find him because he's this scientist that's working on some super secret thing. So you run over to his place, you go looking for him, and you wind up time traveling into the future, the past, alternate dimensions. You're not quite sure, looking for him. And there's robots that you have to shoot. You also have some stealth components and whatnot. Looting, but ammo is very limited. It's not one where you're just, bullet hell, whatever, right? It's strategic. Very, very interesting. And they're making a 2. So if it sounds at all like something, I bet Arkane would like it. I think you would too. I think it's super short. I think I looked up and it's only 5 hours or something like that. But
that's the kind of stuff.
$5.99 though.
See, it's funny. I have no excuse. I need to play. I will actually need to buy now because I don't have Game Pass anymore. The hills have water in their eyes. What the hell is it called? It's the lake, the water. Still wakes the deep. That's what it is. I was really close. Yeah, there's that's really short and good, and Nobody Wants to Die, which I have installed. I got everything prioritized today because that's how I stay busy, just making spreadsheets of nonsense. So the short stuff is what it sounds like. You're having a Chernobylite experience where you discovered something right before it gets a sequel, and then you're like, oh, lucky me. So that's kind of how I felt with Chernobylite.
It's really, really interesting. It was free on Epic, so I'm playing it on there because it was free. But it's got some. The PC version isn't ported the best to controller. It's okay, right? So I just kind of wish that I had the Xbox version because it wouldn't have any of those problems. But it's fine. I mean, that's my problems with the game are all solely related to the controller port on Steam or Epic. So, and that's not anything you'd have an issue with on Xbox. Also been playing a little Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, getting geared up and feeling that nice stiffness that is not Black Ops 6 Omni movement. It just feels so weird. We did. We played Warzone and little baby Warzone, little what is it? Boot camp? What is it? Warzone.
It's called Boot Camp. It used to be much more baby than it is now. It's like a teenager.
Yeah, it's like a little sweaty teen is what it. Well, God, it is like the angsty teen of Warzone. It is just.
It's definitely in puberty. It's not. It's not prepubescent anymore.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. It definitely is. Getting up there in the years. Yeah, whenever we first played it a while back, it was way more casual, and I feel like someone caught
a lot more bots.
Yeah, a lot more bots, and now you just run into just straight up people all the time. Yeah, but it's really fun because the map isn't as large as it's like a sort of cordoned off area of the main map, and it's great. It's great, and I can't wait. Black Ops 6 comes out on Friday. We're gonna talk about that too. Just all things Black Ops because we have to because it's Call of Duty week. No idea what you. No idea what you just said. Well, I love it. Yeah,
That's it. I'm out.
That's it.
I did my funny. Right. I'm gone.
See you guys. We'll see you next week. All right. No. Yeah, I do that way too much.
Jonas, Verdansk is coming back. Verdansk is coming back this spring. He asked.
Verdansk. Oh, okay, gotcha. The hills have water in their eyes. Yeah, I was trying to think of. I think I was thinking a lake house, Alan Wake. We can talk about that too. That from one person that I trust. I trust their reviews. I had a not great time with Lake House from Alan Wake 2 DLC. Arkane should be coming on in maybe an hour or so he would love to talk about that and whatnot. So anyway, I have been playing just Starfield all the time, and I'm completely jonesing on any sort of Stalker experience. So I downloaded Metro, played that for a little bit, but that game makes you feel bad for killing people, and I don't like that. Like, it's actually one of the things that I don't dislike it in Dishonored. I actually think Dishonored handles it really well, but I feel like I found a really good balance with what I like with punishing players for doing bad things. In Chernobylite, speak of the devil, because in Chernobylite, whenever you kill someone, your psyche goes down, but it's not permanent. It's just like you have to like drink vodka or take some medicine and like chill yourself out because you kill people over and over and over, and your psyche starts going down. It starts messing with your head. But it's not permanent, so you don't really feel like you're losing resources, essentially, to craft the things to keep you in good mental health. So that's the kind of stuff I like. But Metro doesn't feel like Stalker. It's just sort of like a love letter to that. Metro's
just really hard and more of a shooty bang bang.
Yeah, it is. And I started playing it on the veteran or master. I can't remember. Stalker has a master difficulty. I can't remember. And yeah, you die instantly.
Yeah. So Metro has, like a lot of weird animals and weird like animals. Mutated and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Does Stalker have mutated enemies, or is it mostly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and they are scary as shit. I mean, that's why Stalker is a horror survival milsim thing. I don't know. It is so many things, and it does it really well. But it is very scary. Can be very scary at times. What's up, nerds and other legends? Noise Mofo. I see you guys jumping in. Yo, Donnie Kazada. Sorry, bro. I don't know why I didn't. It's just all blue. I don't know how I didn't see that. Oh, he was here earlier. I'm a piece of shit. I'm sorry, you Donnie. Oh yeah, because earlier he said both, and that's always
both.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here. I think I finally got Metaphor in the mail because GameStop. Chad, I don't know if I told you about this story, but long story short, I pre-ordered Metaphor through GameStop. Okay, paid it completely paid off. That weekend, the Friday that it got released, I had a wedding to film, and so I was gone the whole weekend. So I was like, I'll pick it up on Sunday. So not even 48 hours. I come back to GameStop to pick it up on Sunday. I'm like, I'm worn out. I just want to play Metaphor. I really want to get into it because I'm tired of replaying the demo. I get there, and they're like looking through the drawers. They're looking through all these PlayStation drawers, and I'm like, just so you know, it's on Xbox. And she goes, oh, silly me. And she goes and looks in the other drawer, and the other girl behind her goes, do we even have an Xbox copy? And I'm like, you should, because I fucking paid it off. Like, and so the lady, the manager girl is like, oh, it was over 48 hours, so I think we probably sold it. And I'm like, you sold it but it was already sold to me. And then you sold it? And she's like, yeah, 48 hours. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know. So apparently after 48 hours, they can just get rid of your copy. And it's a great way to stay in shape. So they had to ship me, which I shouldn't have done. I should have said, give me a refund. I'll go to Walmart across the street and get a copy. So they shipped it to my house, and it took almost 2 weeks to get here. So anyway, I just had to vent GameStop. The only reason I pre-order from GameStop is because it allows me to, finance everything. I can just pay it off. And anyway. So anyway, oh, my eyes. So what do you want to talk about, Holly? Because I wanted to wait until Assassin got here to talk about Stalker. But
I will tell you one quick thing about Alan Wake 2.
Oh, yeah.
Because we saw that review that said they were really disappointed. They said it was 60 to 90 minutes, which is really short.
I seriously I'm not even kidding. I expected like a full-on 5 to 6 hour type deal.
Yeah.
Is what I expected.
Yeah, me too. Most
that's
DLC,
not out of the realm
I
of
feel like
Remedy's,
that's not even a deal. Like, that's just a little expansion-y thing. It's not really full DLC at that point, right?
And I'm sure, like, with a lot of AAA games, like, you can take your time with so many games nowadays and look around at everything and read everything and listen to audio logs and whatever. But even if that's the case, even if you're just sort of just doing the main thing, it shouldn't take 30 to a half an hour, to an hour or whatever to complete. I feel like you shouldn't feel forced to look at everything if that's just not your play style. So that's really strange.
I did see one other post today from somebody else I follow that I like, Maka, who does Maka's guides.
Yeah.
And he said 90 minutes, but he really enjoyed it. So I guess take what you will from that, but the length of experience I thought I was going to get is not what we got. That's the thing. That's the bigger thing for me than like somebody liked it, somebody didn't like it. I'm like, wait, what? 60 to 90 minutes? Really?
So my question is, okay, so this is included with the $20.
It was it's exclusive to that deluxe edition that was sold,
which is $20.
I bought the deluxe edition.
It's $20. So here's now that I think about it. So it's $20, and it includes the thing that came out before, where you play as, the other characters from the Remedyverse.
Which I never did.
Right, and I haven't done it either because I was like, I just want to wait till it's all out and get back into it once I've spent enough time away from it. So it includes that and the Lake House DLC. So $20 kind of does add up.
Although that added thing that you're talking about, like, I played through the game when it came out, and it took me a while because I wasn't super loving it at first just because of the combat. But that was not an option in any of the stuff that was there when I was playing. The only option I had was like one different outfit for Saga and Alan. So I don't know, I guess even this, like DLC to play as other people, so that means you have to go back and play through it to be able to do that, right? And I don't love when games, it's not this game in particular, but just kind of on the whole, I don't love it when games lock that stuff behind, well, you can only access this in a replay. Just because there's so many games that come out, and there's so many things in the backlog, and there's this and that, and there's every other thing. And sometimes some games are a very singular experience. You know what I mean? Or I need years in between before I really want to go back and do that again. So I don't know. I'm just it's fine. Do you know those additional characters you're talking about? Can you use them in the DLC, or do you have to be Alan or whoever.
So in the DLC, from what I understand, it's like you play different episodes as different characters. So like you play as Tim Breaker, who is Time Breaker, who is, you know, we talked about it before, the guy from Quantum Break. I can't remember his actual name, but so you play as him.
And he's got a twin. You know, he's a twin actor.
Is he really? Was he in Animorphs?
I don't know what that is.
I think he was actually... Chat, what the hell is his name? That's going to bother the shit.
He's not perfectly identical. They're close, but they're not perfectly identical. You can see differences in their face, but it's close. Like, they're close.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, so from what I understand, you play as Jess from Control, but you're playing as the actress, and she has a little thing that she needs to do, and then you play as Tim Breaker, and he has his little thing that he needs to do. Sean Ashmore, thank you, Yadani. Or the brother, Sean Ashmore. Oh yeah, sorry, I was confused. And then I heard my dog bark, and I was like, "What's happening?" Yeah, so it's like a quick little fun, and I've heard that it's sort of like B movie-ish. Like doesn't take itself so seriously like the main game does. But that's the only time that you play as those characters, if that answers your question. And it's not like the main game, you know, where you can play as them or anything like that. So maybe it was just people's expectation, because I don't really know how much the lake house was actually. What? Yadani says, oh, I thought Yadani was saying Dominic Monaghan was his twin brother, and I was like, no way. And I was like, wait, no, that's his his brother in Quantum Break. Yeah. Anyway, so like maybe it was, I don't know how much that this DLC was advertised as, like but it's called an expansion, right? Isn't that what it was called, or is that just what people were calling it? Because this is the last thing that we're getting for Alan Wake 2. And I know that they're focused on FBC and Control 2 and stuff like that. But I don't know. I guess I really just have to get my hands on it to see exactly how short it is. Because when someone
I guess I didn't know this was the last thing. I feel like I knew that in the back of my head. But then I'm also like, but they said they haven't made money on it. You would think that they would do, you know, a couple more DLCs or something like that. But they're moving on to Control 2, right?
Yeah, Control 2, and then obviously they're going to have a support team set up for FBC Firebreak, which is their live service multiplayer game set in the Remedyverse. So, and maybe the FBC Firebreak is a way for them to sort of, you know, have some cash flow coming in. And maybe I don't know. Maybe it just seems odd that Remedy of all people put something out as a last DLC for a very highly critically acclaimed game like Alan Wake, and it's just like, yeah. So
and if this is your only DLC, it's only 90 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. And the thing is, like, whenever someone, like, you say, like, Nobody Wants to Die is 5 hours, that means that I'll beat it in like 8 hours, or somebody will say. But then again, you and I played it similarly, though. So
yeah, and I mean, I've always intended to go back, you know, and do another playthrough to get a different ending. Right. I'm posting the picture of him and his twin in the podcast chat so you can see it. It's very interesting. Like, they do really look a lot alike, but there's just slight differences. And his twin was in Warehouse 13 and Smallville.
Okay.
Some other stuff.
Well, good for him.
Anyway.
Sorry, I was the reason I was looking down at my phone is I tweeted out the show. If you guys could retweet that'd be awesome. I love whenever I post and the thumbnail is black. It's just completely gone in Twitter. I love it so much. So yeah, I'll have to check it out. I haven't bought the deluxe thing yet, but do you already own it? Or no, you don't, because you don't know how much you do.
No, I bought the deluxe version of Alan Wake 2. And actually, when I got my PC, I got a free copy. My PC came with a free copy of the deluxe edition.
Okay. All right.
Just it's like one of those Nvidia does giveaways of games to try to get you to, like they did one I think with Star Wars Outlaws. You know, whatever the popular game is at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They usually will package one game. You get your choice, actually. Because I had the choice of Alan Wake 2 or Avatar.
Oh. You didn't choose Avatar?
No.
I mean, come on, kids. I'm
I
not a
hate
fan
Avatar.
of Avatar either. Yeah,
I hate
I'm not. Yeah. It's
Sorry.
way too colorful for me. I don't know. I appreciate like I liked the movie, but I'm not, I don't like it enough to go play a game about it. That's all. And I heard it was great. I heard it. I guess I was talking to Colt whenever he was playing it, and he was like so done with it by the time the game was over. He was like, "F this game." He didn't say that because Colt doesn't cuss. But speaking of giveaway, I have some codes to give away. And shout out to Game Seeker. Oh, speaking of game, shout out to Game Adaptation Newscast who just joined us. Welcome, brother. Welcome, brother. So yeah, I have some codes to give out, and I'll try to type that up as we talk. Hey, let's just talk about Call of Duty. We will talk about Stalker, because once we start talking about Stalker, the show is pretty much over, because that's all we're going to talk about. But
even last night when we're playing Call of Duty, he's like, Stalker? It's Stalker 2? It's Stalker? Okay, I gotta stop.
I gotta stop. Exactly. Yeah, it's all I can think about is Stalker. And hey, listen, guys, if anyone is in chat right now, lurking, not chatting, it's okay. You don't have to. But if you're new here, this is a weekly podcast. We go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, or specific, because it's specifically at 3 p.m. That's a Family Guy joke. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here, and I appreciate all the support. My Stalker video did really, really well, and I can't speak highly enough of so many cool, positive, excited people. That is the most refreshing thing in the YouTube space, when you make a video and people are just nice. That's all it is, just nice and excited, and that's it. It's just great, and I love it, and it's wonderful. So shout out to all you stalkers out there. Really, really appreciate the support. Really, really excited for Stalker 2. Ollie, Black Ops has a lot of stuff. Zombies. It has, what was it? Do you have well, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna try to open up some of this stuff.
So I'll talk slowly so you can find it. So you had a list of the things that are included just in Zombies alone. Was it just Zombies alone?
Ooh, Reddit launches. I'm so sorry. They have the launch dates on here. And Grey Monad, I was in a party with him the other day, and he was pointing out for like the first time ever, well, at least that I know of, the US gets the game like first, and the New Zealand, like, it's not the New Zealand thing where you switch the time.
It's
thing.
Backwards.
I think so.
What?
I didn't know that, but that's what he was telling me the other day. So for us, it launches at 9 p.m. Thursday night for me. So that's 10 p.m. for you. So we could technically play Thursday night.
GameStop called me 2 hours before this show started and said, "Hi, we just like you to know that you can pick up Black Ops the day that it releases, but also not on the day that it releases. At 10 o'clock, we're having a midnight release, so you can pick it up at 10:30 your time." And I'm like, "That's not midnight, but thanks." So yeah, I actually did find that out. And then I asked, and then I'm not kidding, and then I asked her, I said, "I have a question. What the fuck is going on with your 48-hour bullshit with a pre-order?" And she's like, "Oh, now I remember you. I don't know. It's so weird. The store manager was..." I don't want to go on listen. I am going to sue GameStop. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. All right. Let's go. Let's continue. All right. So Black Ops.
So wait, what's the 48-hour thing? What are you talking about?
But GameStop,
do I not want to start you down this road?
No.
If you don't pick it up within 48 hours. Okay.
Yeah, then they just sell
That's
it. I'm like,
BS, because you've paid for it.
Exactly. And I'm like, what?
It can sit in your closet for 6 months. All I care. I'll come to get it when I get it. I paid for it. Or refund me my money. Like,
or refund me my, and that's what I told the girl. Listen, Julie, if you're watching, you were very nice. But she even said, she was like, we don't do that. Like, I know the store manager does that sometimes, but I usually hold it. And I'm like, you're a liar, because I am the guy. I was there to pick up Metaphor, and they're like, oh, I remember you. Yeah, I think that was, and she just put it all off on her manager. She was like, I just think that was her that did that. I'm like, fuck. Anyway, drama. Anyway, so Black Ops 6 is a video game, and more specifically, the reason I'm so excited about Black Ops 6 is not only because it's a campaign, not only because it's multiplayer, but we talked about this last night a little bit. That the zombies mode seems to be it's like they're really leaning into it. Like it's gonna, I don't know how they're gonna monetize it, but from the details that you are about to tell me, it's gonna be a whole thing. Like,
well, the operators, of course,
sphere.
will all be monetized, right? Which will be across all the modes. That's how like, so, you'll be able to use your operator. Like even the operators I bought in 2 and 3, Modern Warfare 2 and 3, I'll be able to use in Warzone. I won't be able to use them in Black Ops 6. But if you buy anything, hi Damarco, we love you. If you buy anything in Black Ops 6, you can use it across every mode of Black Ops 6 and Warzone. So but fantastic. There are, and then they'll do like the Perca-Colas and the Gobble Gums, right? I'm sure you'll be able to buy packs of those in the store somehow, right? If you don't want to take your time to earn them.
Okay. Sorry, I'm listening. I'm trying to...
no, you're fine. You're fine.
Yep.
I'm trying to find... There was like... They were showing in that post... I should just look in our chat because I'm being stubborn and not just looking. There... Our hair looks great tonight, Red. You and me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I use this beard oil. It's very... Thank you. My eyebrows, the very little bit of eyebrows that I had somebody ask me, like, meeting someone, and they're like, "Oh, do you shave your eyebrows?" I'm like, "Nice to meet you too. What the fuck kind of shit was that?" No, I don't. I really don't. But I guess it does look, if you can see. Anyway, it's a whole thing.
Okay, there's 108 different augments that you can unlock in zombies. That's a lot. It is 8. There are 8 types of Perca-Colas, and they all have 6 different types of augments. There's ammo mods, 5 different ones have 30 different types of augments, and then field upgrades. There are 5, and those all have 6 different types. So then there's like this like perk tree thing that's like kind of like a diamond shape, and it shows like you build out those as they go up or down.
Mm-hmm.
There's 8 different kinds of machines where like in the levels, and there's different ways to use them, access them. They're different locations. I'm excited for that. And then they all have zombie mastery skins, just like Warzone has skins and multiplayer has skins.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for it. It's nice because, like, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't really play Fortnite. It's hugely popular, and that's great. But, like, I like a game when there's shut up, Yadani. I like a game when there's progression, right? Like, I want to be working towards something. I don't want there to just be like, okay, I did that, and then that's it, right? So it's good when there's things like that. That's what keeps you going. And yeah, this could be great. Oh, the preload times were the backwards.
Oh, Raymonad says, yeah, it was preload. It was preload times. The guy was looking thing. So I think the New Zealand is still the first to get it at midnight on the 25th. He says he gets to play it at 10 p.m. on the 24th, which Monad is in Australia.
So that means that we could actually just take a trip to New Zealand and play it at like 10 or 11 a.m. on
we
Thursday.
could do that. We could. You know what?
We could do that.
That means I'd had to get Game Pass because I am a physical man. But I might have to make.
You
the
have
exception.
a code for Game Pass.
So it's funny. Shout out to Game Seeker in chat. Says GameStop will pay you in many Funko Pops. Yeah, exactly. Which I'm not okay with that. I stopped collecting Funko Pops a long time ago. Shout out to Game Seeker. He gave me a Xbox 1 month Game Pass Ultimate code, and I was going to give it to the chat, but now I'm not.
Well, no. What about the one that Galveston so graciously gave you a month ago? It was 3 months. Oh my
God, I forgot about. Okay, hang on.
Isn't that what you're using right now?
No, but you just reminded me, and I have to look it up. Thank you, Galveston. Is Galveston here? I hope he did. He's not gonna see this. Hey, listen.
How are you playing Warhammer online?
Because I have core.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have core, so I don't have any of the big dogs. But anyway, I'm kidding. No, I do want to give you guys some game codes tonight. I want to give some stuff away like Metro, Exodus, Dead Rising 4, Mass Effect, Legendary Edition, Dragon Age Inquisition, Game of the Year Edition. If any of that kind of stuff sounds exciting, then please hang out with us. Stick with us. I'll be dropping that shit. Holly loves Dead Rising, especially 4. Is that your favorite?
Rising 4, yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So good.
Yeah.
So
Jonas,
if anybody wants my DRDR, if I could get it off my Xbox, I'd give it to you. I would. I'm so pissed.
Yeah, man. I wish that.
Stupid.
I wish that there was. Did I tell you, chat? I called
That upsets
Xbox
me a lot.
support. I called Xbox support a few weeks ago. I'm not making this up. And I literally asked them, "Is there a way that I can remove games from my account completely?" Because I waited for 7 months for the physical edition of Baldur's Gate 3, which was amazing, by the way. It comes in. I could go grab it and show you. I would if there wasn't more than two of us here. But it finally came, and they gave me there was something there was like the DL. That's what it was. It came with a code for the deluxe edition content, and instead it just downloaded the actual game. So here I am standing here with this giant box. I'm like, physical for life. And then it just downloads the game digitally. So I called Xbox and I said, get this shit. Keep Baldur's Gate out your motherfucker. And so they actually removed Baldur's Gate 3 from my digital library. So then I was like, let me see. And I called them back the next week and I said, can you just remove games? Because I have like a whole list of games I just don't want. And the woman was confused. She was like, I'm not going to do an impression of her, but she said, are you having an issue with the games, or what's going on? I said, no, I just don't want them anymore. Sorry.
Why do you care? It's great to have games in your old, like, you don't have to have them downloaded. They're just in your list. What's it matter?
It's because I am so obsessed with.
There might be a day where you're like, that one game I want to record footage, or I want to do whatever with it, and then you're like, I have to buy that bitch again. I had it. I owned it. Where did it go? And then you'll be like, oh, I called and I had it all removed myself. I did it to myself.
There are things like Damarco's gonna hate this, but like there are things like Divinity 1 and Divinity 2. I just want them gone.
Oh.
I'm never
really
gonna
hate
play it.
To hear that.
He's he's not coming back to the podcast.
Marco, earmuffs.
Close your ears, child. Games like that, like games like Mortal Shell or like Cuphead. A friend of mine bought me Cuphead like 7 years ago when the game came out, and I'm like, no, I'm never gonna put myself through that hell. It's just stuff like that, like stuff that I just know I'm never.
Never do that. I'm like, you put all of the games in my library, like just leave them there. I want them forever. Leave them. They're mine. They're my precious.
I get it, and I just think I need to change who I am as a person. But anyway, I forgot what the hell we were talking about. I went on a tangent, like I do.
Call of Duty. So
Damarco says, you made my night from bad to play in traffic. God, I'm sorry, Damarco. Those games are great, by the way. It's just that they're so big. I just, like, I already have Baldur's Gate 3, and I feel like going back to... Listen, Damarco is not here. This is not fair for me to... This is not... Udani says, Red plays depressing RPGs only. That is true. I do love me the dark... That's why I love Cyberpunk, because it's so depressing. It's true. Right? In The Witcher, and Mass Effect. Yeah, it's all depressing RPGs. You're right. Wow. Look, we're learning a lot about myself. Anyway. So Assassin and Arkane should be joining us shortly. No offense to anyone who's short, but we were talking about Black Ops 6, and I don't know what the... Oh, zombies. It's going to be its own thing. PvE... Oh, here we go. Here we go. There we go. Make sure everyone can still hear us. And... Oh, he's going to be blocked. Oh, thanks a lot, Assassin.
you ruined Baldur's Gate 3 for me.
Yeah.
You started it with me, and then you just fucked right off. Like, where did you go?
I remember, Noise Movo says, somebody buy Red some Leisure Suit Larry. I remember playing that as a kid, and that was great as a kid. And I gotta grab my dog here in a minute as soon as, oh wait, no, actually, I think he's barking at my...
Do I hear woofing?
Yeah, he loses his shit because he's on the porch and he can't get off the porch. So whenever he sees someone that he knows he can't get to, he just loses his mind. So anyway, Arkane, whenever are you here? There you are.
Assassin, by the way.
Are you coming on camera or what's going on?
Oh, it's a party, y'all.
There we go.
I'm
Sorry,
back.
I've got you guys on my phone too. I need to turn that off.
I'll wait
now
until
that I'm actually here.
Are you turning your camera on just so I can switch?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm so rusty. It's been so long. So.
No,
If he doesn't, we can have two of me.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I can literally just make a graphic right here on the fly and put his face over. Well, as soon as you turn on your camera, things will switch around, and I'll have to change the names and whatnot. But it'll be great. It'll be a great time.
Move the camera up. Maybe I suppose let's keep it the same.
Yeah, American Fury says my dog does that too. He wants people to people walking by to stop and say hi to him. Exactly, that's exactly right. Look at that, everything fixed itself. Look at this, Red Wolf 2.0. I gotta change the names. I'll fix that in a second. Everyone, say hello to Arkane Realm. Thank you so much for jumping on with us, man. You're one of the family. You're part of the family. You don't get to be on that much, but we like to have you on every.
Well, we
chance.
are his parent company.
Just consider me a
Oh, that's true. That's right. Yeah.
You guys still have a majority holding in what I would now consider to be a shell company, because I just checked the other day. I haven't actually uploaded in over 120 days. So it's been
Hey man,
a hot minute, but for
4 months.
For Damarco, it's been probably 5 times as long. So you know.
Yeah.
It's been since January.
That is true. That is true. Here, I'm gonna get your stuff up here. Ooh.
And I apologize, by the way. I woke up this morning with a sore throat, so I'll mute if I need to like cough or sneeze. I'm hoping that it's just bad allergies. I'm hoping that I'm not getting super sick.
Hey,
Oh, you're good, bro.
Arkane, were you going for a Red Wolf look? Cause aside from the beard and the tan, you're starting to look a lot like Red. Like his younger or something.
Get it, let it get.
Yeah,
get
this was the
cheeks.
hat. This was the hat that I got at the concert that I went to just recently. I went to go and see Caskets, which is my favorite band. For those of you in the chat who are unfamiliar with them, number one, give them a listen because they're incredible. But I saw them play live in Salt Lake City just recently, and oh man, what a life-changing experience that was. Because I've never gone to see. Oh, it was incredible. You could feel the energy in that room. I've never seen live music before, by the way. This was my first experience, and it was for a band that I am like very fond of. So, and of course, you know, I had to cop the merch too while I was there, so it was really cool.
They're saying your mic sounds. Let me double check on the. He sounds good to me. I'm not sure if the majority of chat are having issues with audio. Just let me know and I'll turn everyone.
Sass, and you
up,
should turn your
on,
camera
and
on now too. That way we could match.
There you go.
Put your hair up
Done.
in a
That's-
ponytail. It'd be
Finally
good.
happened.
We all know that's.
See, now
we
that
all
would
know
be
that ain't gonna happen.
now that would be a trick considering I'm on my Xbox and there's no camera connected to it. So ha!
Mm. Well, I could send you a Connect.
A Connect. Oh God.
Don't
remind
send me
me.
that.
Uh.
Don't remind me of their failures. Oh wait,
I
never
love
mind.
the
They'll do
Kinect.
that themselves.
The
Hey,
Kinect.
King
Oh yeah,
Styles.
Yadani says I have good taste in music. I'm glad you.
There you
agree,
go.
Yadani,
Yep,
'cause,
yep.
Yeah, those guys are great. So, and we also saw the other bands that were playing with them. One of them was called Colorblind, and the other one is called Windwalkers.
Ooh.
And they were all exceptional. They were all fantastic. So, all of their stuff has been on repeat since I.
Yep. And now you get
Since
it.
I
Now
left,
you
so.
get why there are opening acts. Like this is how people get their foot in the door in the industry. They just open up and you become
Yeah.
a fan instantly because
Wait,
like
so
you said,
what were the names again?
Yeah, so the opening act was a band called Colorblind, and they're based out of Austin, Texas, actually, which I was unaware of. So anybody who's from my home state, I have a immediate soft spot for, so that was really cool. And then the middle act was Windwalkers, and then obviously the headlining act was Caskets, and they're based out of the UK. So.
One sounds like an accessibility feature. The other one sounds like an RPG.
hey, so just for people who don't know, it's been a while since you've been on. We've got a lot. The
Oh,
channel
God,
has grown
don't get me
significantly
started, man.
since the last time you've been on. So tell people who you are, where you come from, and why
Yeah.
it does what it does, buttered sausage.
Yeah, you've just about caught up with me by now in terms of sub count, which I'm really proud of you, man. You've been putting
Thanks,
in the work.
bro.
I just barely watched the Stalker 2 video today, which that thing just blew up, 10,000 some odd views in 24
Yeah.
hours. I was like,
Crazy, man.
sheesh. So,
That's I was talking about that at the beginning, and I was like, "Oh, what the?" Yeah, it's always a crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
yeah, so my channel is the Arkane Realm. Obviously, it's in the name, and I focus a lot on Bethesda and more specifically Arkane Studios coverage of all of their games. Right now, I'm on a bit of a hiatus. I was able to do the podcast today just because I was able to fit it into the schedule. I've had just a lot of stuff going on. I haven't uploaded a video probably since June or July of this year. I'm hoping that, maybe at some point before the end of the year, I can get back to a more consistent schedule. But for the time being, I'm just kind of taking a break from everything and focusing on other priorities, real world priorities. But yeah, if you guys are curious, you can follow me there on YouTube, check out some of the videos that I've posted, and I'm also on Twitter at the Arkane Realm. If you guys are curious to see just other sort of opinions and quote unquote hot takes. So
Yeah, man, I'm excited for you to get back in there. Sorry, Assassin or Holly, would you please do me a favor and link his stuff in the chat? I would, but I can't because everything will fall apart and die. We'll get that up for you in chat. That way people can find it. There, Yadani has already done it.
Yadani with the clutch.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. Let me pin
Yadani's
this.
the MVP. He's the undisputed champion of the chat.
He is so nice, man.
Thank you,
he's-
Yadani.
yeah.
Appreciate it.
There you go.
Well,
have
Arkane,
pinned,
don't
his
worry
channel at
about-
the top. Yeah.
Don't worry about not uploading for your channel because we know another Bethesda content creator who's been absent longer.
Oh yeah, no, and me and Damarco have been absent, I think, for different reasons.
I didn't say
think
DeMarco. Where did you get that idea?
Why
I said
would you say
DeMarco.
that?
How dare you? How dare you? You're right,
You
but
know
how
what?
dare you?
You know what? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out who you're referencing here. And
I
just
mean,
for the
for all-
record, I love Damarco. I love him to death. I know he's in the chat right now, so if you're watching, bro, I hope that you're doing well, and that you hopefully also get back to uploading on.
Yeah, is this the year where
for
Bethesda content creators take a break or something? Because aside from Red, seems like everyone has been taking a break.
It's been really rough. Even some like larger channels, it just doesn't make any sense what's happening with like stuff should blow up and the stuff that shouldn't blow up blows up, like Stalker 2. I was like, what the so just stuff like, yeah, it's been really rough in the creative space, but yeah, you gotta take time for yourself, you know.
Well, you gotta remember, can you even list 5 people off the top of your head in terms of YouTubers who cover Stalker? Because I couldn't even tell you. I can
Anomalous Dugout. No, I can't.
Now
I'm
probably
see,
gonna list
you're even
5 people
struggling.
that none of us. You're gonna end up listing 5 people that none of us have ever heard of, but
because it is a very
you're doing really
classic.
well for yourself though, which I'm proud of you, man. Like I said,
thanks, bro.
You're doing really well. The podcast is doing well. What I will say is that honestly, man, get it together. You do this every Tuesday and you still run into the technical difficulties.
Dude, so what it is, so what happens is every time that OBS has an update, it will mute the desktop. It'll unmute my audio, which whenever I start the show and end the show, my audio is muted and then the desktop is unmuted. So that's what happened today. So we actually, shout out again to Jonas, who very last second had to create a 2-man overlay. And so with the 2-man overlay, two person. I'm sorry, 2 people, 2-man. Yes, the 2-person overlay. Thank you, Holly. So anyway, long story short, everything was automatically muted, and it's a whole thing. But yes, I can't get my shit together. Listen, it adds to the charm of the show. Speaking of charm, Slow Lark is in chat. Slow Lark, it's like almost 1 a.m. for you. 12:09 if I'm correct. Thank you so much for being here. Slow Lark is again, shout out to him. Talk to him behind the scenes every now and then.
Slow Lark is
very
from
nice
Leeds too. That's pretty cool. And yeah, that's where Caskets is from. They're from Leeds. And then Noise Mofo said they have kind of a Rise Against feel, which
yes,
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but I mean that's, you know, I could kind of maybe see that. But anyway, I don't mean to make it all about the music. So.
No, it's all good. Well, we're glad that you're here. And speaking of Stalker, let's just talk about Stalker because, hey, so we just talked about it. I made a whole video about Stalker 2, and I could go
Great
on.
Video, by the way, for any of you who haven't checked that out, go and check that out after the podcast, obviously. After this is over.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Give this man all of the likes, all of the views.
Well, it was honestly
all the dislikes.
I could have done more with that. Let me tell you guys, content creation, as you know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work putting videos together, and I could have done more with it. It's a lot. Yeah, shout out to Colt. So anyway, so in my video, so what happened is a lot of people got secret behind the scenes hands-on with Stalker 2. They had over 3 hours able to play that. Now, there is someone, and I'm pretty sure I say it in my video, there is someone in the industry who probably has already come out and said this publicly, that had hands-on, that they said that Stalker 2 does Bethesda better than Bethesda does, and that it is a Game of the Year contender, and it's not what they thought it was, and that it's not just a shooter, it's not just a whatever you think it is, it's not what it is. And so the biggest takeaway that I had from, and this is places like Game Pressure, Games Radar, whatever, you could go there's a ton of different news articles. There was one site, I think it was PC Gamer, that was like, it's too hard. But the majority of people that had hands-on, what I was really surprised by is that they actually seem to understand what Stalker is. They didn't go into it thinking it's just going to be, or they did go into it thinking it's just going to be a shooter and post-apocalyptic, and then they were surprised. And one article talked about, they felt that Elden Ring was a good comparison because the Souls-like genre from Soft Games are not necessarily in the mainstream, it is a very niche genre that has been, it's very, very dense population of people. I'm not saying that Souls-likes are not popular, but as far as the mainstream goes, a lot of people don't really dive into Souls-likes. But Elden Ring was the exception because of many different reasons. It's beautiful open world. I mean, you can go on and on about Elden Ring. People are comparing Stalker 2 to Elden Ring because the Stalker franchise is is such a cult, has such a cult following, and that it is very difficult as well. It's not just a shooter. It is survival horror, very slow paced. You will die a lot. And anyway, did you guys? So I guess Arkane, I'll go to you first, man. Because do you know much about Stalker, or whenever you saw Stalker, or is it being like revealed to you in a way where you are feeling that like, oh, it's not what I thought it was, or are you just sort of getting into it? Is it brand new to you?
Yeah, so I know of the Stalker franchise. I've never played any of the games. I've played what many would consider to be the sister series to Stalker, which is the Metro series, which those games are fantastic, by the way. The one thing I always hear about Stalker is that it's really hard to get into. It's super like hardcore mill sim, essentially.
Yes.
And I even saw, I forget who it was, somebody in your chat earlier was like, which one should I jump into first? And if it was up to me, I would say do Metro first, because Metro's a little more accessible. It is hardcore, but it's not as hardcore as Stalker. So Metro, I believe, is a lot easier to jump into. I believe the story is a little easier to follow. In terms of, I mentioned your video earlier about Stalker 2. A lot of the information you shared in there is like brand new information to me. So, because I haven't really been keeping up with it as much as I probably should, because based on what you said in your video, and I went and read some of those articles and listened to what people had to say, I'm like, this sounds great. I think, to answer your first question, it's not at all what I expected it to be. They really are apparently, based on the previews, leaning a lot more into the RPG stuff. Like, you can just straight up fail a quest that a guy gives you if you like loot the body of his dead friend. It's like that's
right.
It almost has kind of some immersive sim elements. I'm gonna be that guy to go there, like, because it has a lot of reactivity in the gameplay systems and in the world, and how the characters and the environment reacts to you. There's just a lot of reactivity that, based on the descriptions that people are giving from these previews, it's really surprised me. So it's just made me even more interested in checking it out and playing it when it eventually releases. But and also the fact that people are calling this game a Game of the Year contender already, honestly, it's just miraculous, because you think about what these developers have been through. They have been up against overwhelming odds almost since the beginning of development. So the fact that people are coming out with this glowing praise, I mean, I can only imagine what the GSC Game World devs are feeling right now. Like, jubilation, just like sighs of relief, like, oh god, people love our game, like they don't hate us, and this is even before reviews come out. I'm anticipating that this game, based off just the previews, that this game's going to review really well. But I'm happy for the devs. I'm happy that there are going to be a lot of people who have never played a Stalker game like myself, who are going to give this game a shake and see what it's all about. And it's Stalker 2 looks awesome. That's the best way I could sum it all up.
Yeah, well said, man. And Assassin, Stalker 2 is, so you love Siege, you love it's very different. It's not the same pacing as like a Call of Duty by comparison. So
it's more slow and tactical.
Yeah, you gotta eat, you gotta drink, you gotta sleep, You got to manage your inventory, which, by the way, it's got that inventory system that everyone loves so much, the Tetris type inventory, like the Resident Evil type of inventory, and it's still in
Where you
Stalker
have
2.
to fit stuff in. I
Yeah.
love flipping the stuff around
Me
in there.
too.
I don't.
Oh, it's so
It's like
good.
another game in a game.
It is. It's so good, and I love when games allow you to just hit a sort button and it just like and very neatly just like shoves everything to the top. I love that.
Yeah.
So it's got that going for
Yeah,
it.
it does Bethesda better than Bethesda does.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you, Assassin, because what the people are saying, what a lot of people are, especially one specific person said that it does Bethesda better than Bethesda, specifically because it drops you into the world and you just do whatever the hell you want to do. And this is nothing new for the Stalker franchise. This is new to modern audience because, again, it's a cult classic. Not a whole lot of people played it, and it was locked to PC for the past almost 20 years or whatever.
It's been a PC only franchise for the longest time.
Yeah,
so.
and it just came to consoles not even a year ago, not even just a few months ago. And that's whenever I was finally able to really dive deep.
I think it was March. I think it was announced during a partner preview from Xbox, like back in March.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we got Shadow dropped. It was just boom, here it is.
Yep.
So the game gives you a lot of agency, and you can make bad decisions, you can make dumb decisions, like you can still kill NPCs and quest givers. And I know a lot of people in my comments on my Stalker 2 video were like, I can't believe that, it's ridiculous. And I'm like, dude, that is Stalker. If you screw up, it's the same thing like with like Morrowind. You were able to kill people, and it's like, but the game will let you know, hey, you just killed a quest giver. Are you gonna continue? You want to load back? And it's like, well, you just have to live with your consequences because that dude's dead. But you can make those decisions, however you want. So you're not locked in. It's a completely open world, which they were never fully able to do because of the tech limitations back in the day. So Assassin, knowing everything that you know about Stalker so far, are you excited about this? And again, it's weird to compare it to a Bethesda game. It doesn't have any RPG mechanics. The reward is surviving. It's looting a building, making it out alive, getting a couple extra bullets, maybe like a weapon part, maybe even finding like a broken weapon, and then being like, that's an awesome weapon, I can't fucking use it right now. And then finally getting enough money to get it repaired. And as someone who has played and beat the entire trilogy, I can say that is like some of the most rewarding aspects. Like it feels so good to like just load up, get your gear repaired, that kind of stuff. It nails it so well. So are you excited for Stalker 2? And what do you think about all these previews, man? All these hands-on, and I have to pee.
When it comes to the previews, I didn't expect people to start saying that Stalker 2 was going to be a Game of the Year contender. Because let's be honest, when I was searching up the game, it was basically like Red said, it was a mill sim, it was open world survival horror, eat, drink, it's very immersive, very hard from what I understand, especially now, listening to you guys.
Probably got a fair bit of that thing that people call Eurojank too, where like games made over in kind of like Eastern Europe, they have kind of this jankiness to the gameplay that is like, it's clunky, but it's also charming. It's part of the appeal. Like Metro has the exact same thing.
It's like, did you play Atomic Heart? It had
I never
exactly.
did, no, but I know that game basically was like, yeah, it was very similar from what I heard was that it had like, it was really janky, but that was part of what made it charming to some people. I know that other people didn't really enjoy it all that much, but
It was a great game. But yes, I know exactly what you're talking about just thinking about that game. Sorry, Assassin.
Okay.
Made you lose your train of thought there.
You're rethinking
Almost.
your opinion now?
No, I'm not rethinking it at all. I don't think it's necessarily fair to compare it to Bethesda games per se. I can see how Stalker 2 would be compared to Fallout since the atmosphere is similar. It's post-apocalyptic. Your decisions and choices matter. That sounds a lot like Fallout, but in terms of the immersion and the reactivity that the game performs when you interact with it, honestly, I think that aligns more with Red Dead Redemption 2 and how the world would react to the decisions and actions that you made as Arthur Morgan more than a Bethesda RPG.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of the Bethesda comparisons are coming from, because Bethesda, they do like choice and consequence in their RPGs, obviously.
They did.
But they don't do it on kind of like a micro level, the way that Stalker seems to kind of be doing it. Like there's macro reactivity and there's micro reactivity, and Bethesda, in my opinion, has usually been pretty good about like the macro reactivity, like the large scale effects of your decisions. But on a micro level, like, you know, just again, that example I gave earlier where you have this quest giver who will give you a quest, but then if you, and I believe the quest is like you have to bring him the corpse of his dead friend from a part of the zone that is just filled to the brim with like hazards and supernatural
Anomalies,
stuff.
yeah.
So you bring him his best friend's corpse, and he's like, thank you, you know, I want to give him a proper burial. You go down and you press the F button to loot it. The quest fails because he's like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, it's...
What if you loot it before you bring it back?
Then you're probably safe. Like, but that's what's cool about it, though, right? Is like there's reactivity to it. If you do it, like, and the guy doesn't know, if he doesn't see you doing it, you're not going to fail the quest. If the guy actively sees you doing it, I just think that level of reactivity is so cool. We don't get, in my opinion, we don't get enough of that level of reactivity in games nowadays, which is why it's sad when Red, you mentioned earlier, people were like, you know, comparing this to Bethesda, and like gamers nowadays are just so kind of conditioned to think that there's only one way to do a reactive world, when games nowadays just don't have these complex systems that something like Stalker does. That's part of the reason why I love the Arkane Studios games so much, is that they're really good at, most of the time, we're going to exclude Redfall from that conversation, but most of the time their game worlds are really good at like reacting to what you do as the player, like the stuff that you do, how you use your powers, who you decide to kill, who you decide to not to kill. I love that about games just in general. So Stalker seems to kind of be like taking a page from the immersive sim playbook, like I mentioned earlier, and I'm really happy about that, because that makes me immediately more interested in it, because the possibilities and the different branching paths that the story can take, or even just like a miscellaneous side quest, seems to be like a pretty
Have you been noticing,
amount of different branches.
Arkane, have you been noticing that the immersive sim aspects from Dishonored have been creeping into other first-person shooters as of late? Because like Stalker, and then we mentioned Perfect Dark earlier this year. Like, we're seeing a lot more immersive sim elements across the board.
Perfect Dark might be taking a little bit more inspiration from something like Deus Ex, which is like one of the granddaddies of the immersive sim. But
no, they quoted Dishonored as one of the inspirations. Dishonored, Deus Ex, and Mirror's Edge.
They did. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Hey, that's cool. any love that the Dishonored franchise gets is good by me. And sorry, I don't mean to derail the conversation here. I'm going to try to bring us back on track. But any
score do we think it'll get?
Any developers that really put an effort into making their worlds, their game worlds, and the AI as reactive as possible on a macro and a micro level, I love that. And that's one of the things that when I'm looking for new games to play, that's one of the things that I look for, is like, okay, you know, how reactive is the world to my decisions, to my, like, even the smallest or the biggest decision. So
yeah, one of the things that in that same quest that you were talking about, one of the things that happened was that I think what it was that happened is that he did the quest, he looted the body, and then instead of getting a mission success, it just failed, and he didn't understand why. And so he went back, and this is sort of like the dynamic living world that like we're used to seeing, like in a Bethesda game. where everyone's got a job, everyone's got. Do you guys remember the Oblivion documentary? Whenever that was being.
Yeah, they talked about. Well, God,
it was like it was
Radiant,
a woman.
Radiant
yes,
AI?
Radiant AI. Yeah, and
Yeah.
she talked at this one very specific part. This woman talks about how you could send an NPC to a dungeon. You don't have to be there. You're on the other side of the world, and you send this NPC to a dungeon. He could fail, he could survive, he could whatever, but you're not going to know about it until you see him again. That's exactly what this reminds me of. So the player talked about with Stalker 2
exemplifies... Oh, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, it's like I was just gonna say. So the guy returns, and he's like, maybe the dude died by his own traps that he set up. Maybe he got killed by something. But either way, he died, and that's just something that you have to accept. Like in these kinds of games where anything could happen, and that really pushes replayability. So I'm excited for that. But yeah.
Yeah, what I was gonna say, and this is the last thing I'll say about it, because I'm sorry, I don't like to cut people off. That's my bad.
You're good.
It exemplifies this idea that, and I love when developers embrace this concept. It's the idea that this world that they've crafted, it will exist with or without your direct involvement. Like, so the idea the example you gave is like the one of the more popular examples, like Oblivion NPCs. They have a daily routine. They wake up every morning, they go to work, they do this, they do that, they go to sleep at night, they get up the next morning and they do the same. It's like, it's this idea that this world feels alive, it feels tangible in a certain way. And so again, when developers really kind of focus on that, they make their worlds feel alive, feel immersive. And this idea that random NPCs, they're just going to go about their business, whether you involve yourself in whatever they're doing directly or indirectly, they're going to carry on and do their thing. And it's very, it's realistic in that way, because that's the world that we live in. Everybody's going about their day, and I love that reactivity, that level of reactivity in a game.
I mentioned it earlier, but Red Dead Redemption 2 is another perfect example. The world would continue going forward, whether Arthur Morgan does anything or not. Whether the gang at camp will still continue on their daily lives, even if Arthur is not at the camp when he's doing missions or when he's hunting or such. The NPCs of Red Dead Redemption 2 will continue to do they'll continue to do the things that they are supposed to do. They get up in the morning, they work on building houses, they work in stores, they work at the bar, they pull carriages. Yep, the railroad. Exactly. Red Dead Redemption 2 is another perfect example as to how reactive a world can be in response to you and the decisions that you make. Even though Rockstar isn't necessarily known as an RPG studio, they added enough RPG elements to justify adding it to Red Dead Redemption 2. But that's all I have to say about that. Concerning Stalker though, Red, what score do you want? Because being considered Game of the Year contender, the last game that was considered Game of the Year contender was Metaphor, and that got a 94.
I was gonna say it's gonna be high 80s, low 90s. That's my prediction.
It wasn't.
Somewhere
I think
between
it's 88
to 92. Somewhere between 88 to a 91.
I thought Metaphor
92
was going to be
where
9. It was 89 or 90. Then it got a 94. So I'm going to go 88 with Stalker 2.
Yep. My instinct says 87, but I just wanted to say 89 just to be safe. But yeah.
I'm sorry.
Imagine we wake up on November 20th and it's a fucking 95.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then PC gamers. Anyway, I don't want to get into it. What's up, William Riggs? Thanks for being here.
Have we heard from you, Holly, about what you think about Stalker 2 at all?
She doesn't care unless it's Call of Duty.
I feel like we've completely overtaken the conversation here. We need to let you have your say.
Yep, she was next on my list. And more specifically, Holly, are you usually into, and again, this is one of those I've asked you 1,000 times and forgot what your answer is. Are you usually into these types of survival games And if you're not, do you think that like the first person shooter element of it is enough to, marry those two things to make you be like, okay.
No, I'm excited for Stalker. I'll let you talk about the thing we talked about the other night about expectations.
I forgot.
I think that's, you forgot about the conversation, or
Yes.
okay. Do you want to hand? All right.
I really don't remember. I'm sure you could jog my memory. I just don't remember.
Well, no, my point is, and this goes to, there's a couple things, right? The first thing is in that it's not going to be at this year's Game Awards. So going up against Metaphor or any of those others, it won't, because it's past the cutoff. So it would have to be
so dumb.
It would have to be in consideration. It will be in consideration next year, but of course, we all know like our attention span is like,
and
2 weeks at a time.
2025 is going to be such a stacked year already. You think about like just the month of February alone is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my wallet's already screaming in pain about February.
Yeah, it's gonna be expensive. And then my other point is just that, and this goes to your point about the Metascore. I think this game is going to be quite excellent. However,
I think I remember.
It goes to the
Here
point
comes the
of
logic and reason.
I
we
remember.
go.
I remember. Are you talking about loving it for what it is and liking it for what it's not? Is that whole conversation that we had?
We just talked last night, chat. Like, it's amazing. Like,
I don't remember.
So the only point I want to make is that this game is not what people think it is.
Yes.
And that's not a bad thing. It's just it's just the point of managing your expectations and understanding what the game actually is. It's not a beat 'em up. It's not run out and shoot. It's not pure stealth. It's a combination of those things, and it's about making the right decision at the right time and being very slow and well reasoned in what you do, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to bother a lot of people because I think they're seeing some of the clips because those trailers are phenomenal, right? They look amazing.
Yeah.
And the game I'm sure will be, but it's just not what people think it's going to be, and that's okay. It's just, I think what happens when a game comes out and it's not what people think it is, even if it's still fantastic, people tend to not rate it as well. People tend to poo-poo it or talk badly about it, right? Because they wanted one thing and they got another. So it goes to that point about, your Metacritic score. If you're talking purely based on journalists and people who know what this game is and, are rating it due to what it actually is,
right,
it will be really, I think it will be really high, in that 87 to 90 range is probably fair. But if you're talking about the aggregate score between people who play and then post their comments, and then also, like more of like an open critic kind of thing, I think it's not going to be in the 80s.
Oh, really?
Here's something
He thinks it's going to be in the 60s.
Here's something that I don't think any of us consider is what are the odds that most review outlets are going to be a little bit kinder to this game because of the circumstances of its development? I just barely thought of this just
That's
now.
a good point.
I feel like that's what's going to end up happening is the game's probably going to have, it's not even probably, it's almost undoubtedly going to have some flaws, but how much are those flaws going to be overlooked because of the real world circumstances behind the development of this game?
Yeah, yes, you can. I'll just say quickly, my quick opinion, I think that a lot of people will stand their ground even more. Like, I'm not going to let emotions get in the way of my job. I am PC gamer. I will
true.
Not let,
maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but
it's like, because like who as as like a news aggregate, like who is really looking to be like the good guy other than like people like us, you know? And I'm not trying to put us on a pedestal like Xbox era. You know, I'm trying to think of other sites, or sorry, other content creators that would cover this kind of stuff, that would have like more of a an emotional approach to what they're going through. I don't want to go on a tangent, but Assassin, say what you need to say.
Really, John Mayer? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
So Arkane, so you asked what's stopping reviewers from taking in the real world accounts into their reviews. All I gotta say is to that did not stop reviewers and the media from criticizing Stalker 2's woes last year at Gamescom. When they got hands-on preview, they said it was the performance was
Janky,
off. They
rigid.
said that it was too janky, it was too rigid, it needed a little bit more time in the oven.
That's
They
a good
were
point.
not, and that was after the war started, like a full year and a half after the war started, and they still criticized it.
Yeah,
rightfully
okay,
so.
That's
Well-
a good point then. So maybe I'm just projecting, but you know, because I tend to be like
I'm with
pretty
you.
generous with my critiques of most games that I play. I don't like to be too harsh, you know, on certain things, unless it's just like absurdly terrible, a certain aspect of the game. Then yeah, of course I'm gonna criticize the hell out
To
of it, but-
me,
So maybe
if-
I'm just projecting. I don't know.
to me, the studios that have earned my respect in the past, they're the ones that I'm harder on the most. Bethesda, Ubisoft, those two publishers specifically, I've loved their games for years, so I'm especially hard on them because I know they can make great games. They've done so in the past, and
We know that they
have
do
issues.
better than what they've done recently.
They can do better than what they've done recently. That goes for both.
Yeah.
That also goes
I
for
think-
Square Enix, that goes for EA, that goes for all of them. In my opinion, the only three studios that are currently above criticism, for the most part, we can still argue about their business practices and such. From Software, Atlas, okay, 4, Remedy, and Rockstar. Those 4, I think, are the ones that we can all, for the most part, agree that they can be above most criticisms.
I
Because
think
of
for the
their
most
pedigree.
part, yeah, but
Mo-
anyway, sorry,
recently.
Holly's got some probably plenty to say about that. So
No, I was just gonna say real quickly. I think that I think they'll still give an honest critique.
you think
Where
they'll be fair?
Where the empathy comes in, it might be a little bit softer in how they do the negative portions, right?
Yeah,
like they'll
that's-
caveat it a little bit, but it'll
Yeah,
still probably be fair.
I think that's essentially what I was trying to say from the beginning. Is like I don't think they're going to be as harsh as they maybe would have been had there not been a situation ongoing over there. But yeah,
We'll have this conversation again once Replace comes out next year, because that studio is also Ukrainian. That also moved to Hungary after the war started.
yeah, and that game has been in the oven for a while.
Oh yeah, Slow Lark. Yeah, Larian. Larian's the 5th one. So From
Yeah.
Software,
Yeah, good call. Yeah.
Atlas, Larian, Remedy, and Rockstar. I think those are the 5 current quote-unquote studios that I think most of us can agree they're generally above some of the criticisms laid out against the rest of the industry. They still do some things wrong on a moral level, though. Well,
That's like a
Yeah.
whole other conversation.
that's
we
a whole
could-
other
we could
conversation,
get
but
into
still.
there, but bringing us back on track here. Is there anything that anybody else here on the panel wants to say about Stalker 2, or just any sort of closing thoughts about it?
Don't open that door
nope.
for Red.
There, I was like,
No.
we don't have enough
So
time.
I have a question for
Okay.
Red.
Move on.
I have a
Move
question
on
for
to the
Red,
next one.
actually.
Yeah,
So how are you going to balance Metaphor, Dragon Age, and Stalker 2?
I'm not.
And I don't even know when I'm
It's
gonna
gonna
get
be-
around to
Dude.
Dragon Age, because I still need to play through Inquisition again. I need to play Trespasser.
Yep.
I don't
Exactly.
I'll probably play it like a year or two from now. After
Not
it comes out,
including
like
Call of
that is
Duty in 3
reasonable.
days, by the way.
honestly,
Yes.
after they've put out some patches, some DLC, some updates or whatever, you know, and
You'll get the best version of it.
No.
Yeah, which
Exactly.
is totally
I'm gonna
reasonable.
Get the best version.
Uh,
At this point, like the release calendar for any given year is so swamped that like I've just accepted that there's no way I'm gonna be able to keep up anymore.
Yeah.
The way my life is right now, it's impossible. I just can't. You know,
Right.
like I've only just barely within the past couple of months checked off some games, 3 games off my backlog.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, you
so
told me
I'm
about
just-
one of them.
Yeah, I told Assassin about some of that stuff. But anyway, moving on.
I have one. Wait, real
Yeah.
fast, Arkane. I have a game that you need to put in your playlist.
In your butt.
It's
Oh yeah,
called
what's that?
it's called Industria. It's $5.99 right now. Have you played it?
Yeah, I've heard of this one. A lot of BioShock, Dishonored, Half-Life inspiration there, and they're
I'm
coming
playing
out
it
with
right
a
now.
sequel. They're coming out with the sequel pretty soon, actually. So, yeah,
I'm playing it right now. It's short though. It's very, very short.
You're playing
it was
it right
free
now on the
Epic
show?
a couple weeks ago.
That's what I had heard. So,
You.
wait, what?
What?
No, I'm kidding. That's it. You can play Balatro.
Oh, because I
Oh.
literally said that earlier and I hadn't read anything. I just was telling you, like, I was telling him it's like BioShock with Dishonored. I was telling him that like a little bit ago.
Well, yeah, that's like a perfect. It's like you took all of those, put them in a blender.
My
and-
2 favorite games smushed and had a
Yeah.
inferior
Yeah,
baby.
I've heard it's
Yeah,
really
oh,
good.
well,
I
that'll happen.
right now it's difficult because I don't have like ease of access to my PC right now. I'm kind of working to change that. This whole setup here might be changing within the next month or so. Who knows? But that's kind of still up in the air. But yeah, that is one that I have it on my Steam wish list actually. So I do plan on checking that out at some point in the future. So.
Make sure you watch the Epic Store too, because it was free a couple weeks ago. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
good games that come through that free.
I very rarely use the Epic Store. I mean,
Marco and I will ping you for that. 'Cause it's like,
Well,
with the 10% back, it's so much like.
and that is great. Like I'm not gonna argue that. Like that's a great system they've got. They do some things better than Steam. Like objectively, you can't argue that.
The interface
just-
isn't as good.
Yeah, and I guess I'm just not a fan of Epic's like their business practices in general, because they keep acting like they have this never-ending well of money from Fortnite when I just feel like that money's gonna run dry eventually. They just cannot keep like, so that cashback program they have, you know, I don't feel like that's something that's gonna be around forever. But
No,
again,
but I'll take
whole-
advantage of it while they have it.
Right, while they have
I'm
it, of
team
course.
me.
Why, of course,
I don't
why
care
wouldn't
about
you?
their wallet.
Yeah, no, exactly. Obviously, look out after yourself, you know. But that's a whole other conversation we could have. I'm not going to get into that. What
Yeah,
other topics do we have to discuss that we haven't discussed yet, Red?
Well,
we
Bethesda's in
can-
chaos. Anyway.
Bethesda's in chaos.
It
You
seems
mean
like every other
Bungie.
day Bethesda's in chaos, you know. So
Ubisoft. Ubisoft
Yeah,
closing
Ubisoft.
closing the Prince of Persia studio.
I actually just
Yeah.
barely heard about that today. Yeah, that's okay.
There's
Which one
a
do we
lot.
want to talk about? Because
Okay,
I feel like
so-
with Bungie, it's just never-ending bad news. I'll take
Yeah.
any
Never-ending bad news with the
opportunity
big
to-
3.
Let's
Yeah.
actually, so real quick before I do anything, guys, chat, there is a tie that needs to be broken. It's between Dead Rising.
I already broke it. Dead
I-
Rising over.
It's
Wrote it in the chat.
33%.
Dead Rising
33 and
over
33.
tied. They're both 33. So someone needs to break that tie.
Nice
Dead
try,
Rising
Holly.
Or I see what you're doing. Break the tie, chat. Come on, vote on that so I can give you guys a game. That'd be great.
William Riggs, to answer your earlier question, I don't know if anybody caught this in the chat. Which Metro should you play first? You should just play them all chronologically, in my
I
opinion.
agree.
So start because the developers, they did what's called the Metro Redux. So
Yeah, remastered.
they did like from the ground up remaster of Metro 2033, which is the first game. So that's the one that you should play first, is 2033, and then play Last Light, and
Which is
then play
amazing.
Exodus.
It's
Yeah.
so good. They're all
Exodus
so
is my.
good.
They're all great. Exodus
Yeah.
is my favorite, but
Mine too.
Yeah, 2033, then Last Light, then Exodus. That way
Yes.
you have the story in sequential
Yep.
order.
Because
and-
it is connected.
Yeah.
You are playing as the same character, RTM, throughout the whole thing. It's just so it is such its own thing. Like it's so unique and really special. There we go. Look at that, Metro 1. All right, so I'll drop that code here shortly, but let's talk about this. So Bungie got consumed by this demon PlayStation. No, PlayStation Studios has now. Keep me honest. From what I understand, Bungie Studios has now been sort of not dissolved, but like sort of spread out into just PlayStation Studios support team, where they will still be supporting Marathon and whatever, and Destiny and whatever, but they are now a support studio specifically for live service games, because that's sort of like their wheelhouse. The surprising part to me is that PlayStation is still going for live service games. And of course, who better than Bungie to be the ones to be dissolved and not dissolved? I can't think of a better word. What is the spread out? I don't know. Because Bungie, Marathon is Bungie's baby. It's inferior baby, to be specific. So Holly, what do you think about all this? Because I don't know, like, I'm not big into, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about it? Was that a good segue? Absorbed.
loss?
No, my
There we go.
earbuds popped in and out like 3 times during what you said, so I kind of missed the question. I was waiting for somebody else to talk, and I was like, okay. I'll just-
Basically,
I was going to, but he called you first.
I'm just
I-
asking. I'm specifically asking, like, what do you think about the direction, like, Sony, PlayStation is taking? Thank you, Slowlark. Said absorbed is a better way to say it. They've been absorbed into PlayStation Studios as a support team for live service. My surprise is that they're still going full on with live service. I expect to see Concord back on the market, free to play, with a new pair of shoes. I do think that
It's
that is
for
going
sure
to happen.
coming back.
It's a waste
Yeah.
of time.
Yeah,
It's
so
No,
such
it's
a waste
fine.
of
Time and
energy.
money.
It is,
I think it'll
it
do
is.
okay
It's
free to
such
play,
a waste
though.
of time.
No, it won't.
They'll-
It will not do it. It won't
Especially if
do
they
it.
put it
It
on
was.
PC.
It was
And Xbox.
no. It was
I-
no.
I
It was on
know-
PC. No. Hey. It was.
Alright.
Free. They had a free
Well, that's the
closed
show, everyone.
beta. Only 2,500 people showed up.
But
I
that's not
know.
fair, because that was a closed beta until the very last minute, and they went, oh shoot, nobody bought this game, let's open
I
it up at the
know.
very last minute. And then it's like, you're not
Ollie,
going to
they
get
put it on
anybody that
PS
way.
Plus. They put it
I
on PS
know
Plus,
that-
which is free technically.
A lot of people don't play betas though either, like, because you have to download the whole thing to play for 2 days, and then you're like, you know.
The finals had 10,000. Had 10 times more people playing it.
I know in my heart of hearts that PlayStation and Sony are going to try to salvage it. I just think it's a colossal fucking waste of time. I really do. I honestly think it's... I would compare it to when BioWare was trying to revive Anthem, and EA looked at it and they were like, you know what? We're not even going to bother with that. And honestly, it was for the better. So,
Yes, agreed. They should not bring it back.
That wasn't the question though.
Yeah.
Right.
What was
yeah,
the question?
It was, but...
Question
was-
is, go ahead.
They just absorbed a portion of Bungie, right? Today it was announced. A portion. But they're still gonna work on, like, they're going under the Sony umbrella,
Yeah.
but they're still gonna work on
My...
Marathon.
Marathon
So-
and Destiny, you know, they're
So
things that they work
Bungie
on.
sent over their creative team to PlayStation Studios to help with their live service plans. They're still going to help on the creative side with Destiny and Marathon. So technically, Bungie was not dissolved. It was not split up. It was just their creative team was sent over to Sony to help out with The other live service games that I really think Sony should just cancel at this
But
point.
that's what they announced that though when all of that stuff came out about Bungie dropping all those other people and like not hitting their mark. They announced that a portion of Bungie was going to move under the Sony umbrella at that time. So this must just be like
the so
actual
this
move
is completely
done.
different. This is a bit different. This team that's going over to Sony that was announced today, they're going to help with the live services that Sony has announced and not announced. The one that happened earlier this year, that team is a team of developers that when they were hit with layoffs, instead of firing them, they're going to make a whole new studio and work on a new IP that Bungie was working on, but they're going to do it under the Sony Interactive Entertainment label. If that makes any sense.
Well, I think that
which it probably doesn't. So two separate things. One is working on a single player narrative driven shooter under PlayStation Studios. The other team that was announced today, they're going to help with the live service games. Hey Sony, maybe you should stop with the live service. It's obvious you can't do it.
I think they already.
Just end it.
I think, again, right? It's one of those things we're seeing now what Jim Ryan implemented when he took over, right? Because it takes years to get through this stuff.
Those plans take years to come to fruition. So we're seeing the moldy, disgusting fruits of his labor.
Well, they're gonna figure it out.
If you thought Concord was bad, man, it's only gonna get worse. I'm telling you, it's only gonna get worse.
John Layden laid down the foundation of the late PS4 generation. Jim Ryan has laid out the foundation for the current to late PlayStation 5 gen. Oh my god, is it terrible? Yeah, and I say this as the
oranges,
PlayStation
really.
fan on this podcast. Holy fuck. If they didn't have Ghost of Yotai, I would be so concerned. Very concerned. More concerned than Red will ever be about Bethesda. Anyway, so who wants to go first on the Sony hate train? Because that's what we're all about, apparently.
I'm not necessarily a member or even a passenger on the Sony hate train. I mean, there are reasons to dislike Sony and PlayStation, but as far as the whole Bungie situation goes, based on what I've read about, it just seems like Bungie's had just never-ending issues. Final Shape did well, but it didn't do well enough financially, sales-wise, and then they've had 2 or maybe even it's been 3 different sets of layoffs just in this year alone. And from what I understand is that Sony is just essentially starting to exert more control over Bungie. They purchased them initially wanting them to maintain their independence, and then when they started seeing how far down the rabbit hole Destiny 2 has fallen and all of the managerial issues that Bungie has had, because make no mistake, all the stuff that I've seen and that I've heard and that I've read seems to indicate that Bungie management has been behind all of the issues with that company. And the Bungie that I knew and loved growing up that made the original Halo games, they have been dead for some time, but now I'm like, man, this is just like a shambling corpse that's been walking along, and no disrespect to any of the employees that are still working there. There's even some
the devs, the ground level.
There's even the ground level. There's even some former Arkane Austin people that are working at Bungie right now. So God bless them, but the buck stops with management, and I can only hope that Sony is going to make the correct and calculated decisions by spreading Bungie out to work on other projects, because it sounds like Marathon is just not coming together the way that it's supposed to, based on what I've read. Which, again, I don't believe everything I've read, but it's one barometer that I use to kind of gauge how I feel a company is doing right now in the moment. It just doesn't sound like Marathon's doing well. Destiny 2 is literally basically in its death throes. They've got that Destiny mobile game coming out, which who knows how that's going to pan out. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think. What I do know is that I think that this whole live service push is, and again, you know, Holly made a good point, is that, you know, it by now it's so late in the plan that I don't think any of these games are going to get canceled. They're just going to take their losses or profits and just run with it, you know. But I really do think that Concord was like, that's the bar, honestly, that they are at right now with their live service stuff, and I don't think they're gonna go any higher than that in terms of quality. You know, one of the ones they have coming out is what is it called? It's called Fair Games, and it's got this whole like eat the rich theme, and it's like a high payday shooter, and like that.
Yeah,
man.
Well,
I don't know about anybody else, but that thing just screams cringe to me.
A game about
does.
eating the rich when it's being developed by a multi-billion-dollar corporation. Right.
What's irony?
Yeah, there's some irony somewhere in there, but yeah, yeah. So.
What I'll say, and it's really great points, Arkane. What I'll say is, I feel like, to your point, if Sony, PlayStation was going to go anywhere and give anyone any kind of hope for live service games, what they had to begin with was a great idea, and it was canceled, and that is The Last of Us Factions, because that shit would have been dope, and everyone was excited for it, regardless if it was going to, you know, blow the world apart. But they canceled it before it was ever. And the thing is, like, we'll never know. Like, maybe in 10 years we'll have a documentary with Neil Druckmann with his ponytail inside of his butt crack, talking about what was and what could have been. So I just feel like they had a bad start to begin with, and of course, with leadership changing, with Jim Ryan leaving, it's like, what the hell was Jim Ryan? He's like, well, we wanted to make games about games within games.
Jim Ryan or Peter Molyneux?
I sound like Peter Molyneux, don't I? Yeah, it's like, with the power of touch.
Like, I do,
yeah.
That
yeah,
is
I do.
so good.
I did that earlier.
I've never heard a better Peter Molyneux impression.
That's thank you. There we go. I'll just do the rest of the podcast like this. Yeah.
Well,
so,
Red, you know, with PlayStation going under,
what is this?
With PlayStation going under with live services aside from Ghost of Yotai, Team Green has a chance here, but knowing how much they have a fetish for stepping on rakes, I highly doubt it.
And
The
really
true winner of this console race, as always, and will be Nintendo. It will be Nintendo, as always.
Yeah, and they'll just keep suing
Nintendo
for forever.
Yeah, why did we not talk about that tonight? Like the whole Nintendo
because it's
shit.
nothing new. It's nothing new. Like they've always been.
Really?
Like
so
they've always been assholes.
Yeah,
like special
Wait a minute.
says.
Their team of lawyers are super extreme.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What are you guys talking? No, I'm
They've been
talking about
like
the
this since the
Typhlosion
80s.
pedophile shit.
Oh, that
They've done that since the 80s?
We're not.
Wait,
no,
what is it?
We're not gonna talk about that.
Oh,
what are
we
you
are going to
talking
talk about that now. Now that Red.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Oh god. Okay.
Yeah, let's just save that for after the show.
Nah, come on. What
Anyway.
happened? Tell me. Everyone wants to know what's going on.
Do you want to get demonetized?
Well, can you just skirt around it so I can understand the gist of it? You don't have to say it. What is it? What is
Human Pokemon relations.
Oh, Game Freak.
More like Goon Freak.
They're freaks, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
okay. Yeah, I heard about that.
They lived up to the name.
I mean, that is a whole. It's a culture, and it's a.
It is not. And
it's fucking weird.
Newscast in the chat. Make those false promises to me, Peter. You know how I like it when you lie.
There you go. Yes, I love when you lie. Love the way you lie. Yadani Kazada, thank you so much, bro, for the $5 super chat. A $5 super chat. I haven't done that in a while. He says,
Sounds
"Get a
painful.
job, you bum."
You
Just
haven't
kidding.
done it in a
Love you.
while. You're never gonna do it again either.
Exactly. And it just gets worse from there. Thank you so much, Yadani. I appreciate you, bro. Love you too.
So the
yeah.
other thing you were going to talk about was, what was it? Ubisoft Montpellier was basically.
So the studio was not shut down.
Okay,
The
listen.
team has been
Hang on,
disbanded.
real quick,
Oh.
before we get into this, let us speed run this. We're running out of time, and so Ubisoft.
We can
is
go
dead.
longer. DeMarco's not here.
No. It doesn't mean I don't have to get up early.
Oh,
Stalker
yeah,
says
that's fair.
we had Paris on a few weeks back. Now Peter Molyneux. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're getting everyone on here. Yeah. Welcome to the Renegade Realm podcast with the power of touch. Remember that? The power of touch. There you go. All right, go ahead.
Sounded creepy.
I can't
all right.
get over how good that is.
Ubisoft fucked up again. They want Pokemon to touch each other. Go ahead.
Oh.
They messed up again. Inconceivable at this point, right? It feels like every day we're hearing more and more bad stuff about Ubisoft, but maybe Assassin, you can speak better to this because you actually played the most recent Prince of Persia.
Oh, right. So sales did not meet I am so tired of this shit, and not just like Ubisoft in general, but that game was so well received, everyone loved it, and then it didn't meet sales expectations. And I want to know the metric. It's the same exact shit that we've been seeing for years and years.
We need to change that, by the way. It did not meet their completely unrealistic sales
Yes, exactly. And dude, this is what we've been seeing for years and years and years with people like Square Enix and even Capcom. Capcom has been
the worst offender.
They've been the worst. It's like it sold $57 million or copies or whatever, and they're like, it didn't meet 57.1 copies, so you're shut down.
Yeah.
It's like that all the time. Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, Red. Capcom hasn't
Not in a long
said that
time.
in years.
No,
They haven't said that in years.
That's exactly
We're
my
talking
point.
about,
That's exactly
Since
right.
RE7 came out. But
Yes,
yeah, Square.
Yes.
Yeah, when I saw that news story today about Prince of Persia not meeting sales expectations, I honestly said to myself, "I'm sorry, did Square Enix publish this game? What are we doing here? What?"
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is what AAA publishers don't understand. If a game does not meet sales expectations, even though it got great reviews and it's beloved, that means you have an opportunity to continue to invest so that way you get a bigger return on profits. If From Software had not made Dark Souls 2, if Dark Souls 1 had not met sales expectations, we would not have gotten Elden Ring. If sales expectations for Persona 3 did not exceed or quote-unquote underperform for Atlas back in 2008 or 6, we would not have Metaphor. This is what publishers don't understand. You continue to invest, even if it isn't a success right away. If you continue to invest in the teams, and you keep investing in that IP or genre, it will continue to grow.
Jonas in the chat makes a good point about
read
how
that.
bloated of a company Ubisoft is, which is another part of the reason why. But
I have said this before.
It comes down to company bloat. Games that can't sell an unrealistic number, that realistically speaking doesn't cost that much to make, are too expensive due to company bloat. So, my opinion on it is that they, and every AAA publisher is guilty of doing this, by the way, but you can't expect. So, Prince of Persia. This is the first Prince of Persia game we've had in how long?
12 years.
Yeah, 12 years. There you go. And it's a small, like, basically
Metroidvania.
almost like indie level. You could compare it to like an indie, like Dead Cells or something like that, you know, like a 2D side-scroller Metroidvania. You can't look at a game like that and expect it to do Assassin's Creed level sales number. You just can't.
Not right now.
Well, but that's the thing. Is like Ubisoft execs probably looked at that and they're like, "Oh, this is gonna do like millions and millions, like tens of millions of copies," when it's probably only sold what, a couple million, which is nothing to like brush away. By the way, like that's a very respectable number.
Well, it still sold more than Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah, there you go. And yeah, so but it's a executive level problem. Again, what I said earlier it rings true here now with the Prince of Persia situation, is that the buck stops with management. It's about the expectations they set for themselves. It's about the way that they assign budgets. It's the way that they go about spending on marketing or lack thereof. There's something deeply wrong with the AAA industry right now on so many levels, and it's not gonna change anytime soon. But I'm sad to see that Prince of Persia didn't do well, and that the team, thankfully the team hasn't been laid off. Like, they've just been disbanded. They're probably just gonna go work on other projects within Ubisoft. But it's a shame because it's like the first game Ubisoft has put out in a long time that was really
it was really unique. It was different.
It was really unique. It was innovative in some very minor ways, and it was just like it was what Ubisoft needed at the time. Like, it came out when, like, January of this year. It was like one of the first major games. It was like the shot in the arm that they kind of needed, because they had Skull and Bones on the horizon, and basically ever since Prince of Persia, it's been a steady downhill trajectory for Ubisoft this year, which is a shame, because they have so many great IPs, and they have a lot of talented developers. It's just Yves, hopefully I'm pronouncing this right, Yves Guillemot and the shareholders and the executives, and
Wait, Holly, how's it pronounced?
They're just making all the wrong decisions. So
can you pronounce that name in your French?
What?
Yves Guillemot.
Oh, the Ubisoft president?
How do you say
the
it?
CEO of Ubisoft.
Holly can
It's
speak
Yves.
fluent.
Not fluent.
She speaks a lot more French than I do.
Gelati?
So.
I sent Holly this thing last night. I was like, this lady is saying gelati, and then she sends me the word, and I'm like, there is no je, there's no la, and there's no fucking t in this word that looks like it says you've or whatever. I'm like, what the hell? French people, get your shit together. God, you've had so long to get your shit together with your damn words.
Well,
Anyway,
Ubisoft apparently can't afford to not spread or give bad news during our podcast either. Ubisoft has canceled early access season pass for Assassin's Creed Shadows, indefinitely, permanently, and they dropped the price for the collector's edition.
We heard about that.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
it is. Now I might actually buy the collector's edition.
That is actually a good thing.
But Holly,
that's
tell
bad news
me-
for them, obviously, because they're missing out on money, but that's good news for us.
Holly, why is that a bad thing? Tell me what you're going to say.
No, I said it's a good thing.
Oh, that's it?
It's bad for them because they're losing out on all that cash flow
They're
from
just-
early access. And
I don't have a problem with the idea of paying for early access when it comes with the DLC as a pre-purchase. If you're only paying money to play a game 4 days early, that's a problem. That's not okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr. Bushido in chat. It says, evening, ladies and gentlemen of the chats and panel. Thank you, man. I hope you're doing good, Bushido. Yadani. Sorry, I'm like losing oxygen. You know, like whenever you like swallow and your swallow doesn't. Never mind. This is going weird. Yadani Gazada, another thank you. $5 super chat. Thank you so much. He says, paying for a Stewie impersonation of a developer saying, "Where's my money?" Oh, okay. So who wants to be the developer? Because I have to be.
No, you're the developer saying, "Where's my money?"
Where's my money?
Where's my money, Brian? I think it's I think it's what he meant to say is the developers are being asked, "Where's my money?" by Square Enix or Ubisoft, right? Because they go, "Hey, you got my money?" And then they're like, "Well, we sold like 30. Oh yeah, listen, I could have sworn I said 30 million copies, but you only sold 29. So you got Got my money?
He's
Yeah, there you go.
what does he do? Doesn't he like shoot him in the knee or something?
Yeah, I immediately had that if you guys remember Family Guy, where Peter just goes, "Hey, you see that fire extinguisher over there?"
I thought you were trying to recreate the time where Brian owed Stewie money after losing a bet, so he confronted him in the bathroom.
That is what it was.
Yeah, that's
where,
what it was,
yeah. So it's so
Oh,
instead,
I don't have it on me. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
There's some good OJ. And then he hits him in the face with the
Oh,
fucking
that's
glass.
right. Oh, that is some good OJ.
Drowns him in the toilet, beats him up. You got till
So
5
bad.
o'clock.
Yeah. You got till 5 o'clock. You hear me? 5 o'clock. And then he's just laying there, wet, beaten up.
You freaking psychopath. Clean
Yeah, that's
yourself up.
Yeah, clean yourself up. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Thank you so much, Yadani. By the way, before we get the shunk out of here, I just wanted to say, if anyone is a paid member of the channel member, let me know. DM me on Twitter or Discord. Add me on Discord so I can get you in the community Discord, because I want to build that place. That's part of the perks being a channel member. But hey, if you don't want to be part of it, it's totally cool. It's totally cool. It's just $5. It's just to support the channel, get early access to videos, and Discord and whatnot. We'll see how it evolves over time, but you can do that. So shout out to I know American Fury is, I think, Barry Donnellan. There's a couple here. I'm trying to get my list together. So if you guys just hit me up on Twitter, my Twitter link is in the description below. William Riggs says, I'm a channel member. You're clearly not a channel member. I can see your name is not green, unless it's a glitch, but maybe, I think he's joking. I think, but anyway, but yeah, shout out to the channel members. I really appreciate you guys so much. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this thing called ending the show. Arkane, what are you going to be getting into, man? And where can people find you?
So the stuff I'm going to be getting into, hopefully, is going to be jumping back into Alan Wake 2 and doing the Lake House DLC.
Oh.
I'm going to try and hopefully within maybe the next week or so grab a physical copy of the game, because the physical copies, I believe, just dropped today, and the Lake House DLC, the last piece of DLC dropped for the game. So I'm excited to check that out. Beyond that, man, I'm just going to be working on myself, working on family matters, and not the TV show. Just kind of focusing on some real world stuff. Like I said at the top of my jumping into the show, hopefully I can get back into content creation more regularly before the year is over, but we'll see what it has in store for me. So if you guys are curious, you can check out my YouTube channel, Arkane Realm. I'm also on Twitter. Check me out there. And yeah, that's all I got.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for jumping in with us. It's always good to hang out with you. I know you don't have a whole lot of time, but when you do have time, you choose to spend it here on the Renegade Realm podcast. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you guys for obliging me, because I know I jumped in pretty late. So
no, it all worked out. And shout out again to Jonas, who made the show happen, because I don't know what I was going to do. So it all worked out. Shout out to again, William Riggs, who says, see, channel member. He just became a channel member. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you. I'll be hollering at you sometime soon. We'll wait. I want to wait until paid members are at least at is it after 2 months, I think, and then we'll get you in there. But I can make an exception. I don't know how that works. I'll have to do some more. Anyway, what's Holly? What?
What?
You went. That's what it sounded like you said.
I don't know. You were saying 2 months. That's all I was gonna say, is that you've said 2 months.
2 months, yes. After 2 months, that way you are officially. And the reason that it's 2 months, by the way, is because if someone gifts you a channel membership, it will go away after a month. Which means that since if you are a paid channel member, like and not a non-gifted channel member, it will stay there after 2 months. So that's how I know that you're real. So I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so yeah, instead of being a channel member for like a year or whatever, or 6 months or whatever, I know a lot of people have different things, but it's just a small tier just to support the channel and become part of the community, so we can all interact with each other. And Discord seems to be the best way to do that. So thank you so much, William. I really appreciate you, bro. Donnie says, I am real. And thank you so much for the super chats, Donnie. I really appreciate you, man. It's so nice of you. Assassin, where are you gonna be? What are you gonna be playing? And where can people find you and hunt you down and stalk you? Watch you through windows.
I'm not
Like
Rockstar,
Pokemon.
man. Come on.
Oh, I thought you were a game. Go ahead.
No. Goon freak. Anyway, you can find me
Oh, okay.
on Twitter and Twitch at Assassin52. I'm still trying to stream Silent Hill 2 Remake. So I managed to pick up Alan Wake 2's physical edition today, actually.
Sir, can't wait.
So I'll be
Can't wait to hear
playing
what you
that
think about
later.
that.
Yep, I've decided, even though I'm probably not going to finish both games by the end of October, so I'm just going to keep going until. So that's what I'm going to do. The links are in the description down below if any of you all are interested.
Oh, okay.
I just
You done?
barely got that joke, by the way, about the Rockstar and looking through the window. I
Now
just
you-
barely got that joke because,
There you
like,
go.
I saw that tweet. I was like, oh my god.
Yep. Yep. Indeed.
Yeah, apparently, in case the chat doesn't know, apparently someone actually drove up to the Rockstar offices and peeked through the blinds to see what they could find.
Can you imagine
3
just
in
be
the morning.
working and you just look over, you're like, oh shit, and they're like, what are you doing? What are you
The
doing?
guy literally took 2 pictures of it and said, "Rockstar, you guys need better blinds."
That's hilarious.
Why
Yeah,
would
I
you?
love
Why
that.
would you do that?
I love that. Just outside blinds. It's so weird.
So, can you tell that people are excited for GTA 6? That people are doing this now?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's coming. It's coming. Oh, bless you. Is that all?
Thank you.
Oh, that was it. Okay, Holly. So since you're sneezing and we're blessing, put all the blessings out there. Bless the chat with your handles. And you are blessed. Goodbye. No, tell people where they can find you and what are you going to be getting into? Well, we already know what you're getting into, but say it anyway. Hell yeah.
In 4K 60.
Yes.
Ye-
Yes.
I don't know. I'm just gonna be trying to. Maybe I'll try to finish Industria before Call of Duty comes out. And I don't know. I'd like to finish Warhammer, the campaign at least,
That'd be
with
great.
you guys very soon. At least this freaking mission, which seems to take hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
So it's defense.
Can't blame me that the fucking barge was that difficult.
Yodani, the best update to Call of Duty that they're making this year is the fact that they have fucked off with that riot shield, because that thing worst
No, bring it back.
worst thing that they've ever put in Call of Duty. The turtle shell must
I think
go.
that's debatable, but go on.
That is debatable.
That is
All you have to do
not
is throw a
debatable.
syntax.
It is 100%
Only-
debatable.
Only can't say it.
If you can't kill a fucking shield user with the syntax, you're not playing Call of Duty right.
No, I use drill charges.
This
But-
will probably
There
be the
you
first
go.
Call of Duty in like 10 years
it-
that I actually pick up, by the way. I'm excited about Black Ops 6. I'm
Yeah.
gonna check it out.
And at one point they nerfed the drill charges, so it didn't even kill the riot shield person. That was really bad. I was like, okay, fine, I'll carry drill charges just to screw with you jerks.
Mm-hmm.
But then they nerfed them, and I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
You know, I
That's
do read the
it.
chat, you fucking ass.
See you,
Go
William.
back to
Take
bed
care,
before I
buddy.
call
Thank
the
you
nurse.
again.
Bye, Willie. We're getting out of here too. Anyway, so I would like to maybe try to burn through that with you guys quickly if we can, because and Red and I are
you
gonna
have,
play
like-
Gears too.
Yep.
We need to get back to that. It's been a while.
It has been a while. Exactly. Just like Stain.
Yeah,
I've
beaten 5 games before y'all even beat the first 2.
I beat a game or two.
I hear judgment.
Yeah. Gears Judgment.
Gears of War Judgment?
You knew exactly where I was.
And I'm gonna finish Marvel Suns, Shamit. I'm almost done with it.
Is it not the... It's so good. It's so good and addictive. I love the combat. God, I miss that game so much. I miss that game so much.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
Fallout 76 got a Halloween update today, and it's pretty cool.
All right, now we're ending the show.
God, yes.
Oh,
Anyway.
piss off.
There you go. Oh, how does it feel, Assassin? Piss off. That's his tagline. It's his catchphrase. All right, good night, Mom. Piss off. Piss off, sweetie. Anyway. And where can they find you, me? You can find me in the description on Twitter. Red Wolf Renegade. The only Red Wolf Renegade on Twitter. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Oh, God, what is that? It's a wolf. It's a wolf. Oh, that's Black Ops.
Come on,
Look at
kid.
Really cool, actually.
That is dope. Look at that.
Wow.
Everyone
So
look at
that's
this.
the front. That's the front, and we have 3 different backs. I only have 2 of them
Oh.
so far.
Oh, my God. I love that.
And it's like a matte black finish with a glossy orange.
Oh, my
All
God.
of the fronts are the same, and here's the
Oh,
next one.
You made a
There's some of the-
Skeletor coin?
And
it's
and the third one isn't here yet. But yeah, people were saying this looked like Dealer Gaming's.
Oh, the Reaper. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We need to get a
Yeah.
good link to just leave in the description from now on, by the way. We'll talk about that behind the
Yeah.
scenes. 'cause
If
I
Anyway,
wanna know
Damarco
those
was
are-
here, he would have like fallen asleep by now.
Yeah.
Or he would have gotten so cranky, he's like, I need to eat. I'm leaving.
Those are Slow Lark. Those are giveaways that we do on Twitter with fan art. Ben Kenobi 2020 and I work with the 2 of us doing this fan art thing with these coins, and we do giveaways on Twitter and a few select shows because we do a very limited quantity of them. So we have 50 of each of these, and we're doing randomized giveaways. So please don't ask for a particular one. If you do win, you will get what is sent out. So that's it.
Fantastic. There you go. And I'll get that link in the description from now on, actually, because I feel like that just needs to be there because it's never going to stop. Those coins are never going to end. So shout out to Ben. And
Hopefully, we need the monies.
there you go. Yeah. And
We
it's,
need-
it's a lot of work. It's always a slow start. And yeah, I get it.
I mean, y'all would make a lot more money if you sold it instead of doing giveaways.
Can't do it without
Well,
without an official partnership.
yeah, there you go. You
Well,
gotta
then
get
we'll ask Phil. He follows you.
Phil.
He does follow me. That
He
is
does
correct.
follow you. Exactly. Yeah. He's the original stalker. No. All right. Anyway, everyone, shout out to everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye,
Bye.
everyone.
Spinning. I don't
Still,
have
guess-
the room for that, so I'll just wave.
There we go. Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
What is happening?